Warning, warning. This podcast contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised. Bum bum. If you're looking for a podcast that answers the question, what you talking about, Willis?
Can we say that? If you're looking for a podcast, because it's a quote from I don't know. I told you I wasn't ready for this. If you're looking for a podcast that's about this latest Star Trek convention gossip.
Ooh. It's actually, there's been other conventions since.
Oh.
A podcast that answers the other question, who shot JR?
Or a podcast that explores what it really means to be a public servant.
Ooh, yuck.
Yikes.
Turn it off. I'm Sarah, that's Haley. This is Rewind, the hot mess Star Trek podcast you didn't know you needed in your life. Hit it! Roundtable. I want to start with you because I feel like I have no idea who you are anymore.
Yeah.
You showed me pictures of you in caves. You're going to be doing jury duty. I mean, there's a lot going on. And you've had a summer off. You've had some moves, some grooves. Something about some hooves. Talk to me about
Dear horse.
Dear horse.
It's true. Yeah, let's start at like the beginning of the summer after our birthdays.
Yeah.
We got ready. We moved. Yes, we moved from Vancouver to Victoria. So now we put down roots, so to speak. That's been
There's
great.
a copy of the DVD roots onto the floor.
Thanks.
Being like, here we go.
Yeah.
Wherever
It's
I
a
lay my
set.
DVD, I call home.
The day we moved was the only day it rained in the entire summer. So I was like, that's cool. Fucking hydroplaning in a U-Haul. Like, yay.
Alanis Morissette song much?
But that was great. We got through that. And then like almost immediately, so I also caught like a summer cold while that was happening. And then almost immediately we like left to go to Ontario to visit family and go to a wedding. And like, I was still feeling kind of shitty, and I was like, well, whatever, I'm not testing positive for COVID. It's fine, just rally. And we're about to go to the rehearsal dinner, and John's like, do a little test just to see. And I was like, sure. So whatever, I'm like slapping my face on. That's girl speak for putting makeup on. And he comes around the corner with this positive COVID test, and I was like, what? But I was like, that makes sense, because I was like, I've had a headache for 3 days. I have had a sore throat for like 5 days. Anyway, so I spent my entire vacation in bed, which was fine.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And then, we got home, thanks Air Canada, finally. It was not an easy, like the flights were canceled and rebooked and then delayed, and then we ended up having to stay overnight in Vancouver. It's fine. And then got back home, recovering from COVID. I'm having a nice... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I saw you at the airport.
Oh,
I
right.
was leaving, and you were leaving, so would you have been positive?
I had COVID.
I have never gotten COVID. I am convinced... Because we hugged. We embraced. We hot breathed on each other out of the excitement. I was panting. I was like, oh my God, is this happening?
And wasn't STLV a super spreader or something?
It was a super spreader.
So it's interesting. I mean, you may have had it with like very
drinking and
minimal...
smoking, man, it cures all. Just saying.
This is it. If you haven't started, start now. It's never too late.
Get your menthols while you can.
Oh, no kidding. I'm sad for you.
Yeah,
Cools with a K.
Camel Crush.
So I'm like, yeah. So we saw each other in the airport, which was so cool. And just generally speaking, I don't look at people, and so I would have never seen you, but you saw me. And John was like, I recognize her from pictures. And the one time I've met her,
so weird. After 7 years.
I know.
It's been 84 years.
It's true. And so that was like the best, just to see you. And then like, yeah, like the terror I felt. I'm like, I have COVID. I traveled on a plane. I was not wearing a mask, but I also like kept my mouth shut the whole time and didn't talk to anybody. That's fine. But anyway, like the moral of the story is I've been summoned for jury duty.
Oh my God. And you haven't finished watching that show, Jury Duty.
No, I haven't seen
the first episode.
I've only seen the one episode.
You know what? I would actually almost suggest, like, watch the first one, maybe throw in a middle episode, and then just watch the finale. Because I found that, like, the show is, like, it's funny, it's quirky, it's you know, a mockumentary where, you know, the shtick, right? The one guy doesn't know what's going on, he thinks it's real. And it kind of drags on, like, more hijinks, blah, blah, blah. You know, you can throw one in just to kind of get a sense for the hijinks. But when you watch the last episode, it's everything that you you have to watch one more, because I just want to see the end. And the ending, when the big reveal, it's really, really, really good. Like, I actually would go back and watch that last episode multiple times.
Really?
It's very
multiple
sweet.
Times. Oh,
it's very sweet. It's
That's
very
nice.
like, it's heartwarming. It's like a Ted Lasso episode wrapped up in a warm blanket on a stormy night. Like, just comforting.
that sounds so nice.
Some soup.
Oh,
Yeah. Jury duty soup.
Also, I realized that I said that I've been selected for jury duty, but I've just been summoned.
Okay.
So I still have to compete.
You have to compete. This is your America's Got Talent. Like,
it's such a big deal to me because, like, I care about the law and the process, and I care about equity and fairness, and I'm just super curious to see how it works. Also, like, all over the place, it's like, on the jury summons, it's like, you must respond to this, even if you think you get an excuse to not go to jury duty.
If you don't show up, they
no
will
one
not come
wants to
looking for
do
you.
this. Yeah, like, no one wants to do this. I'm very interested in it. And then I thought, okay, like, they're going to be, like, looking into the backgrounds of people who they've called, and, like, I don't really have an online presence except for my LinkedIn and then this podcast. So I'm like, we'll see. But, like, I have to go there. They'll assign me a number, and then they'll have to pick my number, and both the prosecution and the defense will have to agree, and it'll all have to happen before they select 12 people. So, like, I don't know. So even if I go really early, it's not in my favor. So we'll see.
I think if anything, this podcast is going to give you a leg up. Maybe they're going to be like, well, I like Star Trek. I think that a person who likes Star Trek is an educated, smart, reasonable person.
True.
And if they hold to them the values of Gene Roddenberry, we want them on this case.
Well, as they should. It is a 9-day criminal trial that, if I get selected, starts, like, I'm going to court on the Friday morning, and if I get selected, the trial starts on the Tuesday.
Whoa.
I'm super excited. Also, like, for me, it's not a financial hardship because the government will pay for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even if you got called, if we were with, like, PSSG or something,
I got jury summoned when I was working in the criminal justice sector. Yeah.
Too bad.
I know. I was so bummed the one time I got it, and I was like, I can't, because I have access to all of this stuff if I want to go look it up. Every day can be a court case for myself if I wanted to hack the system. I would never do that, though.
No, of course.
They track.
Yes, exactly.
They say they don't, but they do.
Well, that's even better. It reminds me of, like, when we were working at La Senza, and Terrell was like, just so you guys know, there's cameras now. And I was like, no, there's not. No, there's not. No, there's not.
No.
There weren't.
There weren't.
Yeah. Anyway, and then...
just the ones in the change room.
Oh, God.
Just kidding.
Remember the robes?
Oh.
We never washed them. They were never washed.
No.
Or did we sometimes take them home to wash them? No, that's not our jobs. Anyway, and then other than jury duty, I went... It's called canyoning yesterday. So... Yeah, my therapist was like, find stuff you like to do. And I was like, I like being in the water. And then John was like, I'm going to go up to this canyon. I wish I had someone to go with me. And I was like, that sounds terrible. And I'm like, wait.
No, I want to go.
I want to go. So I bought a wetsuit and, like, little wetsuit boots.
Oh my God, little wetsuit booties.
I know, so cute. And then, like, I have to get little wetsuit gloves because I just used John's, and they were just, like, big man ham hands. Kind of like, I can't do anything with these.
There's that ham.
But yeah, I think I'm hungry for ham. I'm just hungry for salt and taste, basically, because, yeah, like I said, I can't taste or smell still. But yeah, we went canyoning for, like, a couple hours up island. It was beautiful. It was cold water, but, like, you couldn't really tell because of the wetsuit, unless some of the water got in the wetsuit. And you know how they say that you can pee in your wetsuit? Yeah. I definitely didn't, but I did take a giant shit. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't.
I didn't open up the neck and vomit it too because of the...
Anyway, that's me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now you're rolling into fall. What are your fall plans? Y'all.
Fall, y'all. First of all, we're going to go shopping, I hope.
We are.
Or something. I need clothes.
Okay.
My only plan is to not wear white after today. That's the rule.
That is the rule.
I have nothing else going on.
No. No more travel?
No, we were gonna go to Maui and then it burned down.
Yeah.
So
Thanks,
sad.
Oprah.
Thanks.
Have you heard about this conspiracy theory that it was like Oprah did it because she's buying up all the land cheap?
The fact that there are conspiracy theories at all.
The Burning Man conspiracy theories are coming out now.
What's the Burning Man conspiracy theory?
Well, there
they
was
didn't
like
see a
saying there was
fucking
like
storm
Ebola,
coming.
and they were saying that they're like being held there and they can't leave because there's an outbreak of some like there's just it's people just being ridiculous.
More Americans, I heard this fact the other day, more Americans have been married to Kim Kardashian than have gotten Ebola.
Oh my god.
So that's anyway, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look great. Your hair's
Thanks.
shiny.
I colored my roots yesterday, man. Root touch up. Because I did not want to spend $400 at the hair salon to come out looking exactly how I left when I went in, except for 5 white hairs are now not white.
This is the worst.
It's the stupidest thing ever. So, plus my hairstylist who I really liked, she's gone. So I'm like, oh, well, that's a sign. I'm going to save myself $400 and do my hair myself and just not cut it. And if I need to cut it, I'll go somewhere cheap.
Perfect.
I'm letting it grow.
Yeah.
Because I want to hold on to my hair as long as I have because I've lost so much of it.
Getting older.
It sucks.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm good. It's been a great summer. I've been playing a lot of tennis. I have 2 tennis rackets.
Oh my god, how's your backhand?
My backhand is awesome. And I've had a breakthrough on my serve.
I'm so excited.
Like, I jump up and I'm just like,
no.
I've been watching the US Open all the last couple days. I play like 2-3 times a week, take private lessons. But the season's winding down. So next week I start beginner adult pickleball. Because if you can't beat them, join them.
I am so curious. There's a pickleball court in Beacon Hill Park.
Mm-hmm. It's like table tennis meets badminton meets tennis. Like really, it's little paddles. It's loud plastic ball. You can let it bounce, but it's pretty like you're not allowed to smash. The lines are different, so you can't actually go right up to the net to smash. That's the point of. It's a gentler game, so it'll be interesting when I come in with my backhand to be like in your face.
Yeah,
smash.
Kablam.
Yeah. And then I went to STLV, and I know you have a whole host of questions for me, and I just figured we should just get into it and play.
Okay, here are my questions.
Okay. What is STLV?
What's STLV? There's just a couple like Vegas questions also. Did you see the giant sphere?
No.
Okay.
I did not leave the hotel except twice to go to 2 events. I literally
just stayed.
Well, I think I saw the sphere in the distance during the day. It was not turned on, and I was like, is that a football dome or is that a sphere?
That answers this question. If you had seen it, what did you see? And in your opinion, is it worth what it cost? Which was like $1 billion or some shit.
Man. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be, it's not fully open yet too, because it's supposed to be also a place to go to concerts and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a multifunctional, like a audio
like
dome
an omnidome.
Yeah.
Like the science world.
Palindrome or whatever. Palindrome. Was that what they do, like speed racing on bikes or something?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so then you didn't also go to Omega Mart at like there's like it's Area 15.
Yeah, I heard about this. I did not go there.
Okay.
So you're like scrap the whole first 20 questions.
There's a picture of you with a chick wearing a Rewind shirt. Did you give that to her or did she actually wear it on her own?
Heather.
Oh, that was Heather.
That was Heather. And she bought it on her own. And she said that our podcast is her favorite podcast.
Stop. Heather, is that true?
It's totally true. She is. I've never met her in person, but I've talked to her online.
I know the name.
10 years. She was in the documentary Get a Life, the Shatner documentary.
Oh.
Remember we saw Shatner filming it? That one year we were there?
Was that the captain? I thought that was the captains. I was in that.
Oh, that was the captains then. But he did a separate one called Get a Life, and she was on it. And she's Canadian, and so we'd been friends. We got to meet her and her sister, and they were lovely.
Oh,
they were so fun.
That's great.
Yeah. And she had the shirt, and I was just like, this is happening. I wish we should have coordinated and worn it both together.
Totally.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Okay. How was the vibe given the inability for actors to discuss their characters or any characters?
I think there was a lot of concern and tension ahead of time about like, is this even going to happen? Are they going to pull a last minute cancellation and everyone's going to be super bummed? But Michelle Hurd being so actively involved and such a wonderful human being, she actually had it written into the rules that this convention could happen, that other conventions could happen. They did the fine, like when you go to buy your autograph, they cannot sell an 8x10 that has them in their uniform. It only has to be headshots, generic headshots. But if you were to bring a photo, they can sign it. Or Star Trek movie, they can sign it. They couldn't say the word Star Trek. They couldn't really talk about the show specifically. So it made for really interesting panels. And sometimes they would just be like, well, you know why we're all here? That thing that we worked on, like there was a really cool opportunity to do this. So it was kind of made for funny things, actually.
Cool.
And then some actors, like Mr. Beltram, kind of said fuck it and got in a little bit of trouble possibly because they were being a little bit inappropriate with talking about stuff they shouldn't have talked about. So
really,
Robert
classic.
or
Beltram.
people would ask questions and then they'd get booed by the crowd because they couldn't have asked it because you get excited and you forget, or sometimes there's a gray area, or like when Terry Metalis was on stage as a producer, like he had a bit more freedom to talk about things. Same with other people who were working on animated versus video games versus like there were so many, but they seemed to be pretty aware of what they could and couldn't do. So we got to hear stories about like what got you into this, or what do you like to do for fun? Tell me about your gardening.
Yeah,
do you have an artesian well?
Yeah,
I have
an artesian. Oh well, that's good because I was wondering about it. Yeah, and then of course, like the people who would ask the questions, who would just be like it would be so. I could see how disappointing it could be if you've never been, or you know,
or there's people who are into Star Trek who are just so into Star Trek, and that's all they are into, and they don't care about. They don't see them as people with lives. They see them as you are this character, and I am dressed as this character, and I want to know about that episode you did 30 years ago. And they're like, I don't remember anyways. I was high, man. I was
I'm so high. I'm high right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. What was the grossest thing you saw? Oh,
well, you know, the Rio in general is getting a little old and worn out. I definitely would not enjoy, like in the morning, I'd want to get up with my coffee and like have a smoke and put $5 in the slot machine.
Sure.
I wouldn't go over to the backside area because there would be like people kind of sleeping, like hanging, like just like, you know, just like feel
inside
safe.
Or outside?
Inside. And then the room was pretty tired and like little stains here and there on the couch or on the floor.
But each room is a suite.
Like, you get more space to make a mess.
Yeah, totally. More space to hide bodily fluids.
But other than that, it wasn't.
It was
and the other thing that was gross was just how much people they spend on some of these Star Trek things. Oh my god.
It's true.
The gross spending. Like
55, 50 going 55.
I'm jealous. And the lineup to Starbucks was gross. It'd be like 45 minutes to an hour.
That was so bad. Did they not have like a mobile pickup option?
Nope.
Fuck that.
And they closed the one by the Ipanema Tower, so it was just the one over by Hash House at Go-Go.
Oh, stop. Did you go there to eat? I felt so bad
for the staff. I did not go there to eat.
They had the best BLT.
I literally went to Walmart and bought a bunch of groceries, and I ate, like, I was like Jim, like, sandwiches, like,
smart
turkey cheese sandwiches every day. 2 sandwiches a day. Breakfast, lunch, sandwich.
Doesn't matter. It's perfect.
Bar, bananas.
You can't eat well in Vegas if
and
you
then
leave
I bought
it up
a bunch
to
of
the
neutrals, or not neutrals, but whatever, like
Nudes.
White Claw, nudes or something like that.
White Claws, yeah.
Oh, one of those.
Trulies.
Yeah, they were cheap.
What's the happiest thing you saw?
The happiest thing I saw, the happiest thing I like did.
Both.
Well, the happiest thing I saw would have been probably when I saw Bill and Dan for the first time.
Aww.
The first night when I got there, and then they were hanging out in the bar, and I'm like, oh my god! You know, like anybody I saw for the first time. When I saw Heather for the first time, when I saw Jeff, when I saw, you know, all the Casey
cool.
and all the cool people, for sure. And the happiest, I think the best night was the concert, the rock band concert. And this is where I fist bumped Tuvok. Okay, so I'll tell you the whole story. So there was you know how there's usually like a gala or like a band and you're just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
thanks. Great.
So this was on the Saturday night, and this was the night that I went over to Amy's penthouse party where there was Picardo and Dominic and Nana and all these people. But it ended early because I think Amy had concert tickets, or she had something to go to too, right? So I went back, and because I had bought copper tickets, I had a free access to this gala event. I knew Heather and Jennifer were going. They were gold ticket holders. They were like fucking 7th row up or something. So I got to hang out with them. So the band was a rock band, and I think, and you can call me out on Twitter if I'm wrong, but I think they had said that this was the band that originally was started by Hugh Laurie, and it was like a bunch of actors that were like, we want a cover band,
or band from TD or whatever.
Yeah, and now it's called the Action Figures. And so it was Greg Grunberg, who's been in Star Wars and a bunch of stuff. The ginger guy from the Orville, who was also on ER for quite a while, Scott Grimes.
Okay.
And then I don't know the names of the other people that were in it, but then they brought, like, they were doing cover songs. So they did, like, Come Sail Away by Styx.
No way.
They did Roxanne. So the girl that was in Picard, that was in the first 2 seasons, who, you know, she was the android or whatever.
Yeah.
She sang Roxanne, and she came out and sang. Then Tuvok, Tim Russ came out and sang. Todd Stashwick came out and sang some songs, and it was like we went running up to dance. Like we had like this dance crew going, and then a couple of people that were front row. I can't see, and they were like yelling at the band, like getting mad.
What?
And the band was like, "Come on up and down, like it's a concert." And so we all had to go sit down. And so I'm like bouncing, and I'm drinking, and I've been drinking, so I was bouncing my seat, like singing along, because I wanted to, like, cause
you're having a good time.
Yeah, how often do you want to dance at a concert? Not often. And at 43 years old, you're like, you take it when it happens.
Yeah.
And so we were just like hanging out, and like it was so good though. The bands were so good, and like everybody's singing was so good. And then when the last song, I think it was "Come Sail Away," and then everyone comes out onto the stage, so we just rushed and danced, and then like Tim Russ was like, you know, shaking hands with everybody, like Todd Stashwick were just like, it was like the funnest moment ever.
Wow.
I think it's the funnest thing that's ever happened at a Star Trek convention.
That sounds amazing.
And you're like, this band has to come back, and you need to put it in a place where you can actually have a real, like,
do it properly.
Because if you're gonna play good songs, like classic rock, like everyone wants to say Rocket Man or whatever the Bowie one is, you know, Starman or whatever.
Starman, the man on the
So
moon.
good.
Yes. Whatever.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Oh. So it was just like in one of the rooms?
It was in the main theater. Like the big where all the reserved seating.
Yeah, that's not like the best.
It's when the orchestra's here.
Go to hell, get a periscope.
Oh my god. Like I get you paid $17,000 for your front row seat, but like
then join the fun.
Then dance.
Yeah. They're those types. They are there. They are present.
Yeah. Here's big time, and they're rude. And that was one of the big. Actually, the grossest thing I saw was how rude a lot of people were to the staff of creation. Like I get it. It's a busy convention. I get it. The lineups are a little bit chaotic sometimes. I get it that things run late. Actors' flights get delayed. There's a massive SAG strike happening. There's COVID. There's people. It's the Rio. They're moving slow. It's a snail's pace. Like, and when I was in line for Jerry Ryan and for the guy who played Jack Crusher, they were like at the same time. Like one was at 1:30, one's at 2:00. So they're kind of staggered, right? Yeah. So hers was moving like super fast, and I was like ticket holder like number 140. So I thought I was gonna be sitting there forever. But I was like, I got up. They were just pushing people through really, really fast. I got a chance to just be like, oh my God, I absolutely adore you. I'm so excited to see you. And she's like, thank you. Smiled at me. We made eye contact. I'm in love.
Perfect. Done.
And then I had like earlier number ticket for what's his face? I'm really forgetting his name
Hank?
right now. No, it's
Hugh.
No, it's not Hugh. It's Jack Crusher was played by Tom Hardy.
I wish.
Oh God. Anyway,
sorry, Jack.
Sorry, Jack Crusher from Downton Abbey.
And also
his was like not moving. It was like his line was not moving at all. And I guess what happened was that the dealers. This is his first convention.
Yeah.
So the dealers, like, they'll buy like 500 autographed tickets because they want their merch. So one of those guys had showed up and he had like a stack of stuff that he had to sign, right? So I mean that's fine. Like he had a flight to England that night. It was his one day there. Like it happens. Like, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. And the guy in front of me just kept bitching and like loudly. Like when we were like in the little nook where he was there doing his, he had all these beers lined up. He was drinking beers while he was doing all his autographs. He was like super just trying to be like whatever.
This is my life. This is my life. This is what you signed up for. You didn't even know.
And so the guy was like complaining. He was complaining to the guy who was volunteering there and just being like, well, this is ridiculous. And I'm just like, and he could hear him, like the actor, and he's doing the best he can. He wants to go home. He doesn't want to miss his flight to England. Like he's just drinking beers. And so when my turn came up, because the guy was still going off. He wasn't leaving and it was my turn. And I was like, you know what? I'm not frustrated, man. I'm on fucking vacation.
Yeah.
I'm having a great
what
time.
The hell?
And he looked up at me and he winked and he was like, thanks for coming. And I'm like, you've no idea. And I was like, yeah, you too. Whatever.
You too,
I was
man.
Like, yeah, thanks,
guy.
Man. But either way, I was just like, and then they're just being rude to the volunteers and just being rude entitled assholes. And I was just like, we are just so lucky to be on this vacation that we can afford to be buying luxuries like an autograph that costs $100. Like,
So what if
Shut
it's
the
the
fuck
peak
up.
of your life to get
Yeah, I'm
that
sorry.
autograph? Like, at least you have the ability to do so. Like,
Exactly. So that was another thing that was kind of cheesed me off. But
yeah,
whatever.
that's tough. I mean, yeah.
That's life.
Gene wouldn't be pleased
No,
with that person's
that is not
behavior.
the Star Trek way of being
No, it's
a
not.
rude, entitled asshole.
Nope. What is the best thing you ate?
Oh, there was a taco truck that was outside the Millennium Fan Bar where the Fan Geeks party was.
Nice.
And I didn't order them because I didn't have time. I was running around like getting food for everybody else, getting drinks for John Billingsley.
Yeah,
and Michelle
another
Hurd and shit, like,
another
mudslide or whatever.
That's fucking hilarious. So creamy.
I know.
So much.
But Dan had gotten some, and he let me have one at the end of the night, and that was like the best.
Oh.
And then I got Guy Fieri. Like they had the little side thing open, so I got a couple of the little tacos, and they were really good. Because other than that, I was eating fucking sandwiches in my room.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
Like a bum.
What is the best thing that you drank? Did you have any cool drinks?
No, I just had the.
Did you have a chelada like I did that one? No. So
No.
gross.
I just had my drinks and then I was giving them away because it was like the last night, and I was like, "Who wants a White Claw?" And I was just giving out White Claws because I was like, eh.
Yeah. Did you touch any of the actors? So
Okay, I got a
fist
fist bump. Yeah, I think. Todd
Was it like
Stashwick
this,
touched my
or was it
arm.
just like?
It was like that.
Cool.
It was like a fist bump.
That's cool.
I think Todd Stashwick touched my arm, like, because we had multiple interactions. It was amazing.
So cool.
And I shook hands with Terry Metalis.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk to him about, he's got 2 DeLoreans. I got his autograph. It's over there.
He has 2?
Yeah. And he like rebuilt like the original one from the movie. So
Oh my
I was like,
God.
that's the photo I have to get then
Yeah.
because then I can put it with the pinball machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Building on Todd Stashwick, did Todd Stashwick look at you with his eyes?
He did.
Yeah.
And he complimented my tattoos.
Yay.
And when I saw him later and I got the arm touch, he's like, it's rewind, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, as soon as this stuff's over with, then let's make it happen.
We're good people. You want to do this. It's a good choice.
Yeah. This is... So we're going to get you some lunch.
What was the party like? The Fansets party?
It was chaotic. Oh my God, we walk into there, get to the Millennium Fan Bar, which is like downtown. So we just like took a Uber.
Oh, like it wasn't in the Rio.
No.
Oh.
Because the Fansets thing is like not creation. It's like a separate organized thing. So they
didn't
wanted
wanna-
So this place is like a nerd bar, right? And you walk in and they're like, this is the room you're going to do a recording in. And it's like an empty, dirty thing. And we're like, but it's where it's where they have like the events, like they'll redecorate for whatever the theme is, and so they wanted to have tables because they were going to do their podcast recording, and then in the separate room it was a bar that's all like, decked out with like decorations and all these cool things, and like so my job at the beginning was to help get waters ready. And then I had to get food for John Billingsley and Bonnie Gordon and Bonnie Gordon's guest, and then make sure that there's tables for them, and then put reserve down, and then I had to make sure that no one took the reserve seating save for Michelle Hurd and her entourage, and then I brought them water. I gave Michelle Hurd a water.
Nice.
And she said thank you. And all of her entourage was very nice too. They weren't like assholes that were entitled, which is even better.
Yes.
And then getting drinks for John Billingsley, and then making sure no one took the tables because Doug Jones was on his way with his people.
Way.
And we had to keep, so I was like holding the fort, like being the asshole who's like, sorry, you can't sit here. To like people like in a hot, sweaty.
Oh
like,
no.
So and then I was sweating and I didn't get a chance to drink or eat until the end of it. And then I had like a drink or two. And then I had like a dance taco and just hung out with them. Oh, I got hugs from like Bonnie Gordon and John Billingsley, like a ton. Like
nice.
we're like friends
like John
now.
Billingsley.
He's hilarious.
He's so
and I touched a non-visitor because we got a photo together.
Oh yay.
So she obviously put her arm around me, and I was like, oh my God, I thought about that later. And I was like, I have to talk about that. Do you remember some ugly kid with like a Bajoran earring and a dicky? The best. I gotta go through my old photo albums. I wonder if I have a photo of me.
I hope you do.
So do I. It would be so amazing.
I only have a few more questions.
Sure.
Was Chase Masterson there?
She was.
Yay!
And she was singing. She sang at that big concert.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. Was Rod there? Roddenberry.
I think so. Yeah, I didn't see him on
him?
stage or anything, or he wasn't at
Maybe he was
Amy's.
just like hanging.
I think he was there.
How was James, AC/DC? James.
Oh, I just talked to him briefly the one night. He seemed good. He was hanging out at the bar the whole time with his buddies and just doing his thing. I don't know if I saw him wearing an AC/DC shirt.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He doesn't need to wear it forever. And then, like, you already kind of touched a bit on Bill and Dan, but, like, how were they? Like, were they having a good time? They were happy?
They were happy. There was some stresses. They didn't get their autographs again because they kept fucking up with the lineups for some of the people from Strange New Worlds, which sucks. But they were a little stressed about the fan geeks party, just getting it, because when they get there and it's not really what you expect and you have to run around and make sure the sound is working with the stress of making sure that fan sets, those people are happy. But they were like super stoked on it. They loved it. The fan sets people, Lou and John, loved the party. They were so excited about it. It went off just perfectly. The booth was busy the whole weekend. Dan filled out a check mark in his bucket list thing and went and saw the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show by himself and loved it. He said he cried like a baby.
Cry.
Yeah, I will not go see that because I will not support that man. But
I get it.
I still do love some of his music though.
That show.
He said it was amazing.
That show on its own. Like, I also cried like a crazy person. No one else was crying around me. My parents are like, "What's wrong?" Yeah, but also, the children thing. Okay, now I just have 2 questions related to Star Trek.
Okay.
Did you know Mary Steenburgen, who is married to Ted Danson, little dancing man?
Yeah.
Do you know that she used to be married to Malcolm McDowell?
Really?
And Malcolm McDowell's nephew, Alexander Siddig, you already knew? Mm-hmm. Who was married to Nana Visitor.
Uh-huh.
You
they
already
had a kid
also
together.
knew. Okay.
I know.
I'm not bringing you any new gossip except for the Mary and Malcolm. Did you also know that there were rumors on the Voyager set about Robert Beltran and Jennifer Lean Kess?
Really? Interesting.
That's all I'll say about that. Those are my
Rumors.
I'm tired of rumors starting. I'm sick of being followed. That's Lindsay Lohan.
Oh my god.
I know.
She had a kid. Didn't she just have a kid?
Oh yeah, that's right. So did Paris Hilton via surrogate. Also, Paris Hilton's here for Rifflandia or some shit.
Oh my god. Yeah, she's a DJ now.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Good work.
Oh my god. All right. Before we go into our episode, let's do a quick shout out to Fansets. Hi, listeners.
That was it.
Fansets. We'd like to take a minute to thank our friends at Fansets. They are always working away like busy bees to put out the best Star Trek pins you could ever ask for. I had the chance to spend some time with them and the rest of their crew while in Vegas, and they are such a great group of people, and they're totally Trek fans, and they kept telling Bill and Dan that they were lucky to have me because I kept opening up the table in the morning because those 2 yahoos were at Hash House a Go-Go eating off probably a hangover. But you know the drill. Let's go support them and show them how much we love them by getting some pins and get a discount 10% at the checkout by using our special code TrekGeeks, all in caps, one word. Thank you, Fansets, for continuing to support us.
Fansets. Our pins have character. And they do because they're characters.
Right?
They're pins that are characters.
Oh, you said it. So it's been about 84 years since we've recorded an episode. What we did, like, last one was Best of Both Worlds is what we did. So we're doing the Neutral Zone. We've gone back to season 1. Did you watch this?
I did. I watched it. I have hard copy notes here.
I'm excited. Hard copy.
Yeah. Do you also remember A Current Affair?
Inside Edition.
And also, do you remember You're on Candid Camera?
Oh, Rescue 911.
Oh,
bring it back to Shatner. What hasn't he done? So good. All right.
I have to pee.
Okay, go. Okay. I will pause so I don't have to worry about editing this out.
Don't.
And we're back. This is fun doing this in person.
It is fun.
I like it.
Let's just do this from now on. We can make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard.
Move out here.
I was curious about, well, maybe. I was going to ask you about, like, do you like living out here? And
I love it.
I mean, you're used to it.
I went down to, Brad and I went downtown for the first time in like a year for our anniversary. And we went everywhere in one night. We got downtown early because, you know, we're old. So we're like, 5 o'clock, we're downtown.
Totally.
We went and had a beer and some nuts at Big Bad John's.
Nice.
Then we went to the new St. Frank's and had a beer.
Oh, good.
And
It's
then
open. Good.
It's open. It looks great. It looks exactly the same, but in a different location. Then we went and had dinner at Cafe Mexico.
Nice.
And then we went to the Barton Banker and had one drink. And then we went to play some pinball at Quasars. And then we went to Lucky Bar.
Oh my God.
And I pulled the whole, like, I used to work here. Can I get in? I got in, saw the Dylans that now own it. And I had to go there because my little cousin just turned 19 and wanted to be on the guest list for 90s night.
Cute.
So I got her and all of her girlfriends hooked up to get in without having to wait in line.
That's amazing.
And we saw like a random band and we just threw back a bunch of beers and got some for free. It felt like old times. It was actually like really fun.
Oh,
and then we were like home by like 11, like classic.
That's perfect. This sounds like a perfect night.
But that was the first time I've been downtown.
Yeah.
In forever. Because there's nothing downtown that I need anymore. Like, we live out here. We love it out here. It's getting busier, but the Sephora's open. Or it's there. I was over that way. I didn't go in. It was early, so some things weren't open yet. But it's like, it says Sephora. It's right beside the Fabric Land. By the hair, what's that? Sally Beauty?
Oh, really?
It's along there. So it's like Sally Beauty and then the shoe place and then it's Sephora.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Amazing.
Right?
Cool.
Okay. So, here we go.
Okay.
The neutral zone. Not to be confused with the calzone.
Look, we're hungry. We got
We're hungry. The episode starts with Reich. Already a spelling error. Fuck me, right? All right. The episode starts with Riker being spicy and telling Worf and Data to calm the fuck down about the random thing floating in space. Data, full of attitude, is like, dude, we got time. Fucking let's do it. So Data and Worf go investigate an old probe. Data, or should I say Brent, shows a sense of wonder when the door opens onto the cold storage room. I thought he had no emotions.
Yeah.
There are skeletons and frozen capsules, but wait, there are people who appear to be frozen. Data is yelling. The captain's shuttle is approaching, and Riker, beardless, calls for Data to return quickly. They said it! They're headed to the neutral zone, Warp 8. 2 outposts have been destroyed, apparently. There's been radio silence on others, and the mood is tense. Romulans! They are up to no good. So the doctor went ahead and thawed the folks they found. They had typical human issues that you see today. So she cured them, and now they're just like waiting to be woken up. Okay, this episode really showcases early Picard. He tells Data he should have left them there because they're already dead, and then is thick enough to invite Worf to watch them wake up when they've never seen aliens. Like, what the fuck, dude? And then there's like really cheesy music. And then when the woman wakes up and she faints, and he's like, "Welcome to the 24th century." It's so dumb. It was like a cheesy, like 90s early film.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's because it was the early 90s.
Season 1.
It was like 1988.
What did we expect?
They interview the survivors, and hilarity ensues. Hogwash! The finance guy wants to phone his bank and read the New York Times, so he's up for a surprise. The other dude is just happy money didn't go into his ex-wives, and the homemaker is confused in general. TV died out after 2040. That's good to know, because that's not far away, and now I'm nervous. Is that enough time for the proper HBO Max Harry Potter TV series I've been talking about? The Romulan stuff is tense. The finance guy has a hissy fit. Troy shows the lady all about her kids and their kids, and the other guy taps the doc on the ass. They get to the neutral zone. Shit's missing. Romulan shit is missing. They're all pissy. They take off, and the humans they found are sent away to enrich themselves and start over. The end.
Classic season 1.
Yeah. That was the end of season 1. That was the finale.
That was the finale.
There wasn't even a big cliffhanger or nothing. It was just an episode. But it was a fine episode. Tell me your thoughts on it.
Yeah. I thought the episode was fine. I thought that we didn't need the people, like the thawed people at all. Except for I might have just been blanking out on the bridge when they were talking to the Romulans, and that guy who was concerned about his finances, he might have suggested entering into an agreement. But like I think like Picard would have gotten there without him. But yeah, I just kind of felt like if that entire side story was taken out, it would make no difference. Mm-hmm. If anything, it just garnered more questions on my end.
Yeah.
But here's some notes. I said that this was a season 1 episode for show because they're still trying to get into their characters. They're not super, Riker without his beard, Riker calling Picard Picard.
Yeah.
Like just little changes in Troy's way of speaking. She's not quite sure what to do with her accent, or if she's like just speaking in iambic pentameter. It's very weird. So was Rod at the con? I guess I added that here. That's also a note.
You really want to know what's going on with Rod.
What's up with Rod? It's from the bathroom. What is Worf's bride-to-be sash, and how is it different from his current sash? And by current, I mean, like, season 7 of TNG. So, like, this fancy gold, not super fancy. I know all about them, but I didn't, do you...
I don't know anything about them.
I think...
They have different meanings? Or?
I think they have different meanings. So anyway, that's something for me to... I'll report back. Maybe.
Do a deep dive.
Glad to see the stigma around substance use is still alive and well. So, like, when, like, the rock star guy, and how he had, like, destroyed all his organs with chemicals, and, like Crusher was like, oh, God. And I was just like, well, that's not going to help us. The overdose crisis is worse than ever, but whatever. Space.com said that the Romulan Warbird is the 9th best spacecraft on Star Trek.
What's the first 8?
It doesn't matter because it's 9. Like, I can't even name 9. Like, all of the Enterprises, and then, like...
The Borg Cube?
The Cube.
A Klingon bird of prey?
And then, it's just 3 words here, but I think it says a lot. Unsecured thawed people. What were they doing just fucking willy-nilly everywhere they wanted to be? Why didn't they just keep them sedated? It was interesting to me that Data wanted them back on the ship. It made sense. Like, these people are they're dead, but they could be
really dead if we don't do something.
Yeah, like they could end up like the gross, mushy skeletons that were in there.
Yeah.
Where there had been like some containment failure, but it was just odd to me the way that they did that, and then like they were just running amok, fucking on the comms, and Picard's like, please don't do that. And he's like, I need my Wall Street Journal, and it's like, dude, just take a beat, like, do what you're told. Yeah. Anyway, I for like a military-esque ship, you'd think that they would have had
a little bit tighter security.
Yeah, just a little bit. Anyway,
just a little bit.
But all in all, it was fine. It didn't feel like a finale episode to me. If I was not already interested in the series, it wouldn't make me tune in for season 2. Mm-hmm. But that's just my
season 2 is a dark horse, so it's like the fact that they got through season 2.
Oh yeah, season 2's
Pulaski. I hardly knew her.
What did you think?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. The guy with the accent was hilarious, and how he wants Data to be a sidekick would have been a really good sitcom. Oh. And I can't help but wonder, like, what happened to these 3? Like, what a throwback that would have been an episode of Picard. In season 3 of Picard, where you get one of them back being like, oh, it's like just walking by, like, oh, it's nice to see you. Do you remember me?
Yeah.
I'm not doing good, man. This shit's really fucking...
I'm not one.
My family disowned me now. The Romulan stuff is interesting. They played them up so much in the beginning of the series that they were a real threat, but we never really see them as bad guys that often. I always thought that the villains of TNG were the Borg and the Cardassians mostly.
Yeah, I mean, the Romulans definitely have their place, but I agree. Like, the fact that they were like, well, they're... it was still very early on. Yeah. Was this the first...
we'd seen of them?
Yeah, in the...
Maybe there's mention of them, but I can't think of a... Yeah, I don't remember. Season 1 is just like... I don't remember a lot of
season 1, they're trying to figure it out, and we're just trying to hang on for dear life.
Absolutely. So we got some fast facts, goofs, stuff from Internet Movie Database. Do you want to split them with me?
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Okay.
All right.
Wish I brought my glasses. When Claire Raymond, I think that's one of the ladies.
That's the lady that was thawed.
That's the lady that was thawed. When Claire Raymond searches for her family members with Counselor Troy, the names on the screen are the names of the series' main crew actors. Also, that reminds me, she's like, his name was Tommy. I'm like, more information. He was born in Ohio. What year? What hospital?
What was the social insurance number?
Thomas. That's my baby's name was Tommy. I'm like,
she was the worst.
Yeah, she was.
The cryogenics satellite was identified only as an ancient capsule or space module in this episode. Both the Star Trek Encyclopedia and the Star Trek Next Generation Companion mentioned that the name SS Birdseye was inscribed on the hull. The topmost segment of the satellite was labeled with the registry identification number of 4077. One of the many references to MASH, 1972. Bird's Eye Seafood, Inc. was one of the first brands of frozen foods, making the satellite name an inside joke.
Oh, that's a
real deep dive.
That's super deep.
Somebody spent some time to log in, create an account on Internet Movie Database, and add that. Thank you.
I don't know how much I support that. Also, when I first saw the probe, I was like, oh my god, it's the ISS. And John's like, what? I was like, no, it's not. Anyway, it wasn't. Just because it has solar panels doesn't make it. This episode was a milestone in the history of Star Trek by establishing that the first season of TNG took place in the year 2364. That helped, because when he's like, what year is it? I'm like, don't you dare say what star date it is. This was the first time an exact calendar date was provided for a Trek episode. Kirk's timeline had been established as the 23rd century in the movie Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home, 1986. All Star Trek episodes, chronologies, novels, and background information since 1988 have been calculated from this date.
Wow.
Do you know still what the star date means, translates to? Me neither.
No.
I'll look at I have the encyclopedia that you mentioned. Mm-hmm. I don't have the companion, but I do have the technical manual for the Enterprise. I'll look into it.
Yeah, what's the math behind it? Because if you're traveling at certain speeds, and then the theory of relativity and all these things about if you're traveling faster than the speed of light, you're going distances that would take 40 years, but you do it in 10 minutes. So
how are they calculating it?
Yeah, I feel like Michael Scott at beach games, where it's like, can you go to the back and see if there's a way to break down gold stars versus thumbs up? What's the math on this? As Data and Worf beam onto the ancient capsule, Data checks the scanner and announces there to be minimal oxygen atmosphere. It would be a little too late for Worf had it turned out the atmosphere wasn't breathable.
And also, I suppose that it was just trying to emulate the atmosphere that we have, because we also have a minimum oxygen atmosphere. Mm-hmm. It's not all oxygen.
No, it's not.
Picard asks the Enterprise computer how long it will take to reach the neutral zone. The name of the show.
That's it.
Data is right there and can calculate faster than the computer. And in any event, it's a pretty basic question that even the helmsman or most bridge officers could answer. There seems to be no reason for Picard to address the question to the ship's computer.
He's just used to Alexa. Alexa, tell me. At 27 minutes 16 seconds, as Troy is preparing to counsel the young 20th century lady, we see a model of the Enterprise A from the movies painted flat gray. However, the warp nacelles are put on the struts backwards, with the pointy end facing fore and the blunt leading edge facing out. Okay, that's just fucking dumb. Why did I put that in here?
And also,
no one cares.
Is that even true?
Who cares?
It's
painted flat gray. It's called gunmetal gray. Battleship gray.
Yeah, really. When researching the fate of Claire's children back in the 21st century, Troy tells her there must be a record somewhere. Well, while the reassurance may be in character, in the Star Trek universe, there was a nuclear war on Earth after Claire was frozen, which must have destroyed plenty of family records and people.
As somebody who's involved in the creation of the digital archives, I'm going to show you all these vital records will be stored.
Okay, in the cloud or whatever.
Oh yeah.
What if there's a mushroom cloud?
Well, then we're fucked. No one will ever know.
That's true. No one. It won't matter.
Who cares?
I like your
approach. It's a history. Look forward, man. Enjoy the present moment. Live in the now.
Don't live in the past.
Don't live in the past. When Captain Picard orders Data to sickbay, Data looks to Commander Riker, who gives an approving nod before Data leaves the bridge. Data would not require approval from Riker, as Picard outranks him and is the commander of the vessel. Yeah, Riker, stop power tripping on Data.
Also,
leave him alone.
It's
abuse.
Cue the extra that took Data's spot. If you go back and watch it, he's very this is my
role.
This is it. This is my one chance.
Yeah,
he really
just went for it.
The Enterprise's sensors, as well as Data's tricorder, should be more than capable of identifying biological matter aboard the derelict capsule. Yet, Data and Worf are surprised to find the frozen humans aboard. It's true. Also, how they were all gross. You'd think maybe they wouldn't be mummified because of the oxygen. I don't know.
Deep dives. How many deep dives are we going to do here on cryogenics?
This is true.
When Picard walks the floor in sickbay, the floor can be heard creaking. The floors in the Enterprise are not wood and should not creak when walked on.
Oh my god.
Awesome. Okay, would you rather? Would you rather be frozen and brought back during this timeline or during Picard season 3 timeline?
Season 3 timeline.
Okay.
You?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's the cooler one.
I need the older bearded Riker.
This is exactly what I was going to say. I need bearded Riker.
I want meditating Worf.
Yeah.
Not
I want
scary short-haired Bob.
And I will make it a threesome.
Do you hear yourself? If you could be frozen and potentially brought back to life later on, would you do it?
Oh man, only if like it would have to, like, I would want my loved ones also to be frozen against their will if they're not interested.
Absolutely.
Like, I wouldn't want to do it unless I was like completely alone, or I could do it with all of my loved ones. This is a minimal amount of people, including you. Yeah. But like, not to be bleak, I don't think this world has long to go. There's nothing to be frozen for. Shit's going down. So, I don't think so. Also, I don't like being cold.
But if you're shot out into space in a capsule, there's a chance that even if the Earth implodes, like what if other, like this scenario, like there's a nuclear thing that happened on Earth, but these people were 1980s.
That's true. So
yeah, no, it's dumb.
I would have to be like basically very close to the end of my life to want to have to start another.
Well, and I wouldn't want to be
time.
like 80 years old, be like, I want to come back at 80. No, man.
No,
if I die in the next
sore.
5 years, freeze me.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to write this? Should we write it down?
Should we write this down?
Is this binding?
This is recorded. This is the thing. Okay, let's say you die tomorrow.
All right, cool.
Bleak.
It's possible.
Okay. You wake up on the Enterprise. What 5 things would you ask the replicator for? What 3 questions would you ask of anybody? And what would you want to do? So you're woken up, you've been given the shocking news, you're on the Enterprise, there's Worf, there's Troy trying to counsel you, and you're like, bitch, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then they show you this replicator. Any 5 things you want in that moment, food or not food, what would you go for?
Oh.
What would you like? I mean, it's a replicator.
I didn't even think of not food. It was all food. Salmon or chips immediately, because I would need them. A lemon, because I'm going to need it on something, even if it's just a little squeeze in water.
Yep.
You try that with your 60 ounce. So that's 2 things. The 3rd thing would be like a pair of pants, because I'm probably naked.
Good point. Just pants.
Just pants, and they're like pirate pants. They're stripes. Stripes with rags, like they're raggedy at the bottom. I don't know. So like one of the things is I need to like consider these would you rathers, so it's not an off the cuff response, but this is working out okay. So that's 3 things: pants, a lemon, salt, vinegar, chips. And then I would want a piece of paper and a pen. Well, I don't know.
You don't want to jot some stuff down.
Gotta write a couple notes, and I don't want to share it with the computer or the people necessarily. And then in terms of like what I would ask, is that 5 things? Yeah.
Yep.
And then in terms of what I would ask, what year is it? And then I would be like, slap them in the face. I don't know what star date, 40.8910. 8910.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And so I would, what date is it? Where the fuck am I? And what can I do? Like, put me to work. What else is going on?
You got movie theater here?
Like I could figure out by the answer of the time if, anybody I knew is still alive.
Yeah.
Or if there was any chance of getting back to those people or that planet. And then, like, I forget the second question I asked.
What would you want to do? Like, let's say you're, like, kind of, like, sent back. You say, the ship is like, all right, we're turning around, we're going to Earth, we're going to drop you off. And you had time to think about, like, what do I want to do with my life now? Like, yeah, obviously you're going to look for family or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, money and all that kind of shit doesn't mean anything. You could do whatever you want.
I was kind of mulling that over when we were watching the episode, because I was like, okay, there is no money anymore. There is no need for physical things or like, all the shit that we have. And let me guess, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, no longer, probably.
I'm guessing. There's a good chance it's gone.
Granted, I did order something from
the USS Amazon.
Totally would be. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Go explore caves and swim.
Yeah. Wait, this is me back on Earth or on the ship?
When you get back to Earth, or would you say, I don't want to go to Earth, let's just keep me here?
Depending, if everyone I knew was dead, I would just stay on the ship.
I mean, you're gonna have like great
I won't care about that.
cousins or something.
No, I won't. No, because me and Evan aren't having, well, first of all, me and Evan are brother and sister. We're not having children together. But separately, we're also probably not having children. So I won't have any, like, family.
Yeah.
Well.
Samesies, right?
Yeah. It's hard to know. Yeah. Why don't you ask me that question when it actually happens?
All right. When we wake up next to each other on the Enterprise and we're like, holy shit.
It's happening.
It's happening right now because quantum.
Say the rest of that sentence. Because
quantum theory. Your thoughts become things. It's another universe just existed now. Oh my god, we're having so much fun.
We would scared. Though. We would be a bit freaked out. We look great. I don't immediately need the chips, but I want them there.
My hair's thicker again.
Yeah, there's
my hip doesn't hurt.
Yeah, my whole body doesn't hurt right. Yeah, that would be nice. I think we would have a lot of fun working. Like, I would want to work on the ship. I don't know. I would want to work. I would want to do stuff. I'd get pretty bored, I think. What about you?
Oh my god. Well, if I wake up and the replicator, I'm gonna want like a pepperoni mushroom deep dish.
Deep dish.
Like I want the bread with
I made one of those recently. It was too much. It's too much bread.
With a Coke Zero. Like ice cold Coke Zero.
Fountain or can?
Can.
Nice.
Gotta be can. Ice cold can.
I'm good.
So I got my pizza. But I want a Caesar salad to start. Okay? My favorite meals. I got my Caesar salad, I got my pizza, I got my Coke Zero.
That's 3.
And then my fourth thing would be like a hoodie and sweatpant, like tracksuit, like an Adidas tracksuit, like super comfy black.
Juicy velour.
Velour pink, like baby yellow color, like gold.
You could put
I love gold.
Off. I love gold.
And
a pen and paper?
No.
You can only have one.
A bag of sour soothers for dessert.
Oh, yum! Red Band. That's the
best brand. Yeah, the purple ones are my favorite because they taste like currants. I would probably ask, what year is it? Where am I? And how did we survive like 2020? Like how did we get out of there?
What happened?
How did we fix that shit? And I'd probably just be like, I don't need to go to Earth. I've been there. I spent 43 years down there. Where are we going?
Yeah, what's next?
Who's this Q you've been talking about? Can he teach me his ways? Am I a Q? Are you Q? No.
Are you Q?
Do you want to get this going then? We can go get some food?
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Because it's closing time.
Time to finish podcasting, then go eat some pizza.
Today.
Yeah.
Oh.
That does it for another episode of Rewind, and it's great to be back. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Tune in next time when we talk about the time-shifting, confusing Worf Season 7 epic parallels. You are mouthing the words as I'm doing this. Until then, feel free to reach out to us via a voicemail on the Trek Geeks website. Do it! While there, you can find a link to our Patreon on account, what the fuck, Sarah, where if you sign up and support us, you get unedited episodes, and other perks. Yeah, that's a perk. Unedited.
Right. Thanks to 5 Year Mission for the music. Thank you, Fansets, Trek Geeks, and all of you for waiting around for us while we had our summer vacay. And like I like to say, to infinity.
In a pearly.
That never gets old.
No. Bye.
Bye.